Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. My name is Jennifer Hand, and I am the Conference and Events Manager for the Glass Art Society. Very excited to be with you this morning to talk about Glass Art Society Texas 2025. It's going to be a fantastic time in Arlington and Fort Worth, Texas, with some of the most amazing facilities we've ever seen. And before we get started, I just want to go ahead and show us some guidelines for our meeting today. If you don't mind, and this is actually a little guide to our buttons here on Google Meet if you're not familiar. So the button at number 1 is how to mute and unmute yourself. Next to that is you can turn your video on or off, entirely up to your comfort. If you would like to turn on closed captions, that is button number 3. And then if you have a question and would like to raise your hand, just look for that little hand icon under number 4. And then to join the chat, you can go ahead and hit that little chat icon under arrow number 5. So for our meeting today, go ahead and keep yourself on mute unless you're actively speaking and asking a question. And also, I will acknowledge up front that I am a fast talker, so my apologies in advance. You are welcome to tell me to slow the heck down at any time, and I will do my best. This is a very exciting topic for me, and I talk faster the more excited I get, so I'm going to try. What I'm going to do today is run through some slides with some basic information. We will have plenty of time for questions at the end. But if you have anything that feels really relevant to what you're seeing on the screen, feel free to interrupt me. That's fine. Again, my name is Jennifer Hand, the Conference and Events Manager. We have our wonderful Amanda Kranz, who is our Communications Manager, on with us as well. And the UTA team will be joining us shortly. I believe we have Katerina on now. Is that correct? Hi, Katerina. Wonderful. So welcome. And Katerina from the University of Texas at Arlington will be helping us answer questions about the facilities there because she is very familiar with them. All right, so without further ado, we're getting started with some important dates. The first one is looming. It is July 14th. That is very soon. That's when your proposals are due. So that's going to be at midnight Pacific time. So Seattle time, although for anyone contacting me or calling me, I am on the East Coast, just FYI. So I am not on Seattle hours. Around September is when we will be sending out your notification of acceptance, or if you didn't make it onto the program this time, letting you know to try again next time. So we will be selecting our proposals in mid-August. So there will be several rounds of acceptance as we're figuring out what that program looks like. So you could hear from us as soon as middle of August or as late as kind of middle of September, depending on how things go. And then, of course, very exciting, May 14th through 17th, those are the conference dates in Texas, although we will have some really great day trips planned for the couple of days before that. So maybe plan on coming in a day or two early so you can see some of the great stuff. And I've heard amazing things about the food in the area too. So I'm very excited about that. All right. Next thing we are going to run through very quickly, types of presentations, because this is one of the most common questions that we get. Basically, is what I'm doing, is this a demo? Is this a LECMO? Is this a lecture? What should I submit this under? So the difference between our presentation categories, a demonstration is active working in a studio that is either the hot shop, the cold shop, the flame shop, the neon studio, or this year we have capacity for print and mixed media demos as well. Now, those are, you're basically doing your whole process, start to finish, in a 90-minute period. Excuse me. You can have, excuse me, pre-made components that go into this, but you're really trying to show a process start to finish, okay? A lecture is a 60-minute presentation. We do have slide capacity, so you can have AV, you'll have a microphone, you'll have the ability to show slides. A LECMO is, again, that's 90 minutes. It's for kiln and mold making only, and it's kind of like a cooking show style setup where it's a process that takes too long to show start to finish right there in that 90-minute period. So you're kind of showing examples of what the steps look like along the way. A panel, that's 90 to 120 minutes with a moderator and 3 panelists, or up to 3 panelists hosting a group discussion to get multiple voices on the same topic. And then other, that is a performance utilizing glass, or a workshop, or perhaps even a roundtable discussion. And we are really embracing interactivity, community participation, things like that. So think outside the box. You can propose something interesting. And this year there are so many toys to play with. So the options are really kind of staggering in a good way. Okay, talking about compensation, because this is super important. We are asking you to come and share your knowledge with us. We understand that's a huge commitment. The compensation is a little bit different depending on presentation type. So demonstrations, that is a $500 USD honorarium per demonstration that is paid after the conference. You also get a free conference pass as a presenter. So please do not buy a conference pass if you've been selected, because you are covered. If you are doing a hot glass demo only, not flame, not neon, not cold shop, if you're doing a hot glass demo, we understand that you physically need an assistant there to help you with that. So you also get 1 free conference pass for your hot glass assistant, unless it's a collaborative demonstration and you're already getting 2 conference passes because there's 2 of you together in the hot shop. And this is true for every presenter. These 2 here, additional discounted passes are available for your guests. So everyone will get a coupon code for a 50% discounted conference pass for 2 guests. So that's to help out so that your family or close friends, or even a personal assistant, if you're not doing a hot glass demo, can come at a discounted rate. I do want to note, travel and accommodations are not covered by GAS. Unfortunately, we do not have the budget or the resources for that as much as we would love to. It's just not something we can cover at this time, but we are always looking for funding opportunities to be able to give back more to our artists. So if you have any grants that you are familiar with that we haven't seen yet, send them our way. And then as a demonstration presenter, you are encouraged but not required to submit an article for the GAS journal. Okay, lecture/LECMO. For this, you must submit an article for the GAS journal in addition to your live program. So the journal article can be anywhere between, I think it's 800 and 1,200 words. Amanda, please stop me if I'm wrong there, but I think that's it. And you will be paid your $500 honorarium, again, per program after your journal article is received. And once again, you get your free conference pass as a presenter, your additional guest passes, and no travel and accommodations. Okay, so for a panel, once again, you must submit an article for the GAS journal. The reason why, by the way, on this is meant, the journal documents the GLAS conference in a way that really nothing else does. We don't necessarily always have the ability to record our presentations, we really don't ever have the ability to record our presentations. That's a huge undertaking. And so this is how we document our GAS conference history and legacy and share this information out. If you've ever been to a GAS conference, you know there is absolutely no way to see all the programs. So this is also a way, like, you know, if you had to choose between two really great lectures, at least you can read about the one that you didn't get to go to. Everyone who attends the conference does get a free digital copy of the journal, so your knowledge won't just be sitting out there in the ether. It will be read and enjoyed throughout the community. And for a panel, because there's more people involved, we do provide a larger honorarium, $950 USD per program or honorarium, again, paid after the journal is received, and then up to 4 free conference passes. We have had questions before about, you know, can I have more people come in to be panelists? And it gets a little messy when we have more than 4 people doing a panel. Nobody really gets the full time to express their opinion, their thoughts, what they came there to say. So we really encourage folks to keep it down to just 4 people. But if you want more panelists than that, if you really, really feel strongly about it, then you can always purchase additional discounted passes for your additional panelists. Okay, moving on. Performance other. So honorarium is usually determined by the type of program. It's usually going to be a $500 honorarium, but it depends. Also, the number of free passes would be determined by the program, but it would be no more than 4. And all the same rules apply. And here for performance and other, you are again encouraged but not required to submit an article for the GAS journal. Okay, here we go. All right, so we are starting off with our presentation venues. Excuse me. So I'm going to run through it really quickly, and then Katarina is more than welcome to jump in and provide additional context about what we will have to offer in Arlington. So the conference will be mostly based at the University of Texas at Arlington, which has a lot of amazing facilities. So in addition to the UTA glass area, which has a hot glass studio, a cold glass studio, a full neon studio, and a kiln forming and kiln casting studio, we will also have access to the UTA sculpture area, which has a wood shop and a metal shop. If you go on to the UTA Glass Instagram, you can see that there is a ton of amazing equipment, and Katarina's been sharing all of that with a and it looks so fun. I'm so excited. I wish I could do a proposal. I just want access to that table saw. It looks great. Anyway, okay. UTA Fab Lab and Makerspace. We'll talk more about that momentarily. UTA printmaking. And then also we will be at the gray area flame working and glass studio. Okay. So actually give me one moment here, just a second. I think Justin's trying to get in. There we go. All right. Moving right along. Okay. So the UTA Hot Glass Studio. This is a ton of information. Feel free to screenshot it if you like, but it is also available on our website. If you go to glassart.org and click on our Texas conference, you'll be able to see all of these facilities in our facilities guide. Oh, and here we have Justin Ginsburg, the man himself. Look at that amazing timing, just as we start to talk about all of your wonderful toys. Justin, if you want to introduce yourself real quick to everybody.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I had a water leak this morning. Yeah, I'm Justin Ginsburg. I run the glass program at UT Arlington. Super excited to host you guys. Apologies again for being a little bit late. Do you want me to talk about equipment since that slide's up? Yeah. Yeah, sorry if it's repetitive, but yeah, I think we have a unique situation in which we have so many studios adjacent to one another. So printmaking adjacent to the cold shop, kiln room, our kiln shop, our hot shop, our neon shop, and then the foundry and sculpture with metal and wood. So I think that leads to a lot of potentially interesting things when people are using other kind of media or tools in their work. So have a huge hot shop. We're getting all brand new Wet Dog glory holes in January, including a 24-inch hole, tons of ovens, tons of pickup ovens, architectural ovens. So kind of thinking whatever you'd want to make there, we could probably make happen. So yeah, very fortunate.
And let's see, cold and kiln forming. Anything to add about that, Justin?
My smoke alarm is going off. Katarina, my wonderful colleague, do you want to fill in on the cold shop and kiln forming?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a fully equipped cold shop with a lathe and polishing wheels and pulper, everything you want. We do have engraver, engraving machine, just one. So, and the zipper labs and sandblaster, hand grinders, everything. What I really wanted to kind of talk about is that it's really a unique opportunity when we have all these other studios literally 1 minute walk away from here. So even, and I've been posting about this a lot, even if you do something for your artistic practice, i.e. some cool wooden blow molds, or you're building some amazing metal stands, or you incorporate metal in your pieces, it's totally like our studio can provide it like 90, right? So it's not like specifically glass blowing demo, but it's all metal, but it does involve all these installation parts when you need to install your pieces and stuff like that, which is pretty amazing. And our Fab Lab has a 3D scanner and 3D printers and lasers and everything you can dream about. So it's really other
Katerina, I'm not sure if it's your connection or mine. Anyone else? Is she breaking up for anyone else? Yeah. Okay. Okay. But thank you. I think we got the gist of like there is all of the toys. This is an absolute wonderland of things to work with. Shannon, did you have a question? No. Okay, cool. Awesome. Dirk, did you have a question?
Yeah, speaker is on. Can you hear us?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Interpower, we are interested in, we are a furnace and hot shop equipment manufacturer in Europe, predominantly in England and also Scandinavia. And we have our parent companies in the States, and we're very interested in potentially putting some equipment in, some new equipment, electric equipment. We have electric furnace and also electric glory holes. So we're very keen and interested and want to know if is it possible at all to actually benchmark some equipment for you. We have a lot of data to back up the use of the equipment. Very much a green, energy saving emphasis on the equipment. Is that something that which we could incorporate into the show? Is this something of interest to you guys? So it's a whole new concept. Electric, not gas.
I'm gonna let Justin respond to that one when he has a moment, but it definitely sounds like something we should take a meeting to chat about. Also, I'm not sure. Are you familiar with our gas market that we have? It's a vendor marketplace within the conference.
No, we're not. But we were more interested in sharing the whole venture that we're on. We're on a sustainability venture for the whole glass industry, and one of our a few studios in the UK and around Europe are actually using the equipment on a daily basis, production and for academia. We've also one of the studios actually, a blower in the UK, actually has got a presence at the International Festival of Glass in the UK. And I was wondering if we could incorporate not only the equipment for demonstration, but also for actually part of the the presentation, the demos, and also everything above really. So we just want to know how, if we can, not just trying to sell the equipment, but actually we really want to just demonstrate it to everybody.
This sounds like it would fall more under a partnership than a presentation. But I would say go ahead and just submit a proposal that falling under other, and just say that you're interested in bringing your equipment and demonstrating on it. This year in Berlin, we had the Nissan Glass folks bring 4 of their mobile hot shops and set up like a little rodeo of these great little furnaces, or 3, I guess it ended up being 3. And it was a lovely addition to the conference program. And we did some programming on their equipment, but more importantly, people got to come and play and experiment and see how it worked. So they did the same thing. They submitted a proposal, but as a kind of partnership. So I would say throw us an other, just so that we can have the opportunity to have it on our spreadsheet as a discussion item for our planning meeting. And then after that, I would probably just want to reach out to you, and we'll set up a meeting and chat offline to discuss the possibilities. But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Sounds exciting.
I would also add, and Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, that you can submit different proposals. So you could submit a proposal for, let's say, setting up equipment and kind of showing that stuff. You could also submit a proposal on a lecture talking about your interest in sustainability within the glass industry and how your equipment speaks to that, and that kind of an informative way, and a kind of a lecture-based scenario. So I think there's multiple options that I think attendees would be interested in, and certainly worthy of applying on a couple of different fronts. I know we're going to talk later about kind of some of the mobile maybe setups that we'll have in addition to our facilities, and certainly we want to keep y'all in mind for that as well.
For sure. And yes, Justin is absolutely right. And this is a point of order that is relevant for everyone here. You are not limited to one presentation proposal. You can submit more than one. If you have 2 ideas and you don't know which one GAS is going to bite on, submit them both. It's totally fine. That is, hopefully they're like significantly different, so that we're not just like, man, is this the same? Did they just accidentally submit this? But yeah, we like to see a little bit of delineation between if you're going to submit more than one. But yes, you are not limited to one shot at your presentation proposal. So thanks for that very important point, Justin. And all right, I'm going to keep pushing through these slides so that we have plenty of time for questions at the end. Okay, so not at UT Arlington, but very close by, we have the wonderful Gray Area Studios. And this is mostly a flame working location. So this is probably where the vast majority of our flame programming will take place. They have lots and lots of lovely torch toys, and they also have a furnace there. So there is a possibility for collaborative demonstrations if you wanted to do a hot and flame demo. We actually had a couple of those in Berlin, and they were very exciting, very fun. So have at it. Okay, moving on to, a little bit of orientation to the area. This will come as a surprise to no one. Texas is big. like really, really big. All right. But Arlington is super close to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, which is awesome. And there's a lot of amazing glass art in the Dallas area, in the Fort Worth area. So we're just kind of sandwiched in between all of it, which is super exciting. This is kind of the Arlington area where we will be spending most of our time. The Crowne Plaza Arlington here is the conference hotel. There likely will not be any major programming happening there. It is just going to be the place where people sleep. I think there might be a bar in the lobby, but and it's also kind of in a fun downtown area. Is that right, Justin?
Yeah, it's just on the road from like the entertainment district and the bars area. That are all of this is, as you can see on the key there, everything is within 5 to 12 minutes.
Yeah. The Arlington Museum of Art is a lovely little point of focus in the Arlington. And then we have the UT Arlington and Gray Area Studio. So really, if you're looking at it kind of, less than 2 miles apart from each other. So everything is going to be nice and close. We will have shuttles running from the hotel to our conference areas, as well as around the UTA campus to beat the Texas heat. And this is a map of the University of Texas Arlington campus. So Studio Arts Center is here. Then the Fine Arts Building is here. So probably most of our programming is going to be happening. I'm going to shut up and let the folks who are actually there talk about this part. How about that?
Yeah, so the Studio Arts Center, just pointed out, that's where all of our major studios are. So that's sculpture, foundry, glass, printmaking, which I didn't mention as well. And so it's about a 5 to 10 minute walk back over to the Fine Arts Building, the Architecture Building, which is just adjacent to that. And then right across the street, there's a couple other little lecture venues and Starbucks and a couple restaurants. So everything's about a 10-minute walk, but like Jennifer said, we'll have just direct shuttles running back and forth between the buildings. So it's pretty much every event other than the things that are happening at the Gray Area Studio, which is just another mile or two away, which shuttles will run to. Everything is going to be very nice and condensed. So it'll be easy for people to pop from one event to another as they're making their decisions.
And if we can find a coffee sponsor, I will have a shuttle running directly to Starbucks at all times. Kidding. Sadly, we can't afford that. I really wish we could, though. Okay, here we go. How to submit. Proposals must be submitted via Submittable. That is our platform. Please do not email me your ideas. I mean, you can, and I will go over them with you, but they don't count until you've put them through Submittable. So that is glassart.submittable.com by that deadline, which is July 14th. Please make sure that your proposals are complete and you've filled out all of the little sections correctly. Just pay attention to what the questions actually are saying. There should be descriptions underneath each question if you're confused. Also, as long as you don't wait until July 14th to email me and ask me questions, I am available to answer questions for you and very happy to. But I am in Venice next week. So if you're trying to get me to answer a question at 11:59 on July 13th. Yes, Fabiano.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi,
Hi, everyone. Sorry. I just heard that you will be in Venice next
yes,
week.
Absolutely.
I will be more than happy to invite you to visit my studio. Maybe we can talk face to face.
Thank you. I would love that. Wonderful. I will look you up.
In touch, send me a message through Instagram, WhatsApp. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, very excited to be back in Venice, bringing my teenager and my infant. So it's going to be a very interesting time. Just need to make sure my 16-year-old doesn't fall in love with the Vaporetto boy. or does. That's what you're supposed to do in Venice, right? Anyway, okay. So, so please just pay attention to what the questions are asking for, and include photos of your work. We want to see if you're proposing, for example, a hot glass demo, you should probably throw some pictures in there of your work so that we know that you can walk the talk that you're talking. And if you're proposing a lecture, maybe research photos, something that just provides context, because we're looking through a lot of proposals as the selection committee. And we just need something that grabs our attention and also explains what you're talking about. And then we also like to have a headshot or a photo of you working in your studio, just so that we can promote your amazing program and let our conference attendees get excited for the knowledge that you're going to share. All applications and presentations should be given in English unless otherwise approved, especially given that we are down in Texas. If we have Spanish-speaking presenters who would like to give a presentation in Spanish, I think that would be wonderful this year. And I will personally chase down an app to find a translator or chase down a grant there. And then if your presentation includes more than one presenter, please identify a primary contact person. So you will be hearing from me a lot. And you need to be able to have the person who checks their email more frequently be that contact person, please. Because I love it when people read my contact info and get back to me. It's really fun. Okay. And again, oh, here we go. Lectures, LECMOs, and panels. That's an 800 to 1400 word article regarding their presentation for the journal. And again, demonstration presenters are encouraged but not required. And then important info here, you do not need to be a GAS member to present at the conference or to submit a presentation proposal. We would love you to be a member. Membership has so many amazing benefits, but that is not a requirement. Okay, I think this may be, oh, here we go. We're going to run through what the application looks like. So you want to make sure that you are hitting conference proposal application, because apply to host means that you are asking to host a conference itself. So unless you got a really great studio, you don't want to submit that option. Okay, so this is where you're going to have to make the hard decision of what you're actually submitting. Select your type of presentation. Remember, and here's something to note as well. A lot of times I'll get the question, oh, I'm going to be talking while I'm blowing glass. Is that a LECMO or a lecture? That is still a demo. You will have a mic. If you are flame working in the hot shop, anything like that. Just because you're talking does not make it a lecture. You are expected to narrate your demonstration, or you don't have to if you want to work to music and maybe just talk at the beginning or end. But that's an important delineation there. So a demo, a LECMO, a lecture, a panel, we can definitely parse these things during our Q&A in a few minutes. And also, if you're not sure, please send me an email. I will tell you which one to go with, or submit both. For example, we have a certain number of spaces for lectures, for LECMOs, for demos. So the advantage to submitting as both is if we don't have any more room for demos, but we have a couple of slots left for LECMOs, we might end up slotting you. We might actually also change your presentation type if we're like, this lecture would be better if they brought in and did a little bit of the process. We're going to ask them to switch to doing a LECMO instead and see what they say. So we would like to have a little bio just to get to know you a little bit. If you click on the fact that you have yes co-presenters or yes panelists, we will ask you for their contact information. If you are proposing a panel and you have some ideas of who you would like to speak on it, and you've maybe tentatively reached out to them, but they're not 100% confirmed yet, that's fine. You can put their names on there. You can give us their status of whether they've been contacted, whether they have tentatively confirmed that they would like to participate. It doesn't have to be set in stone. We understand it is very challenging to get a firm commitment when you're not even sure if you're selected for the conference yet. Shannon, yes.
Hey, I had a question about that. I wanted to do a panel that would it would have like professionals outside of the glass community as part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring people that aren't just glass professionals. Like if I wanted to do a talk about glass is a therapeutic medium for PTSD and trauma, I could like bring a mental health professional into the panel to talk with us.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I love our glass community talking about those things, but let's talk to the professionals too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We in Detroit, for example, we had a legal panel, which was 3 lawyers who worked in arts nonprofit and or one lawyer who was like just a regular patent lawyer, but she was a glass enthusiast, one who was with the like legal arts council or something. So yes, we absolutely encourage you to bring in the people who actually know what they're talking about in that regard. Oh, and Justin.
Awesome. Thank you.
Shannon, will you shoot me an email? I have a student that got a McNair grant to collect data and research that specific topic. And it
Oh,
would
awesome.
be like amazing to connect y'all. Like
That would be perfect. What was your email?
it's Ginsberg, my last name at uta.edu. I'll put it in the chat thread. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
No.
Okay, that's exciting. All right, title of your proposed presentation. I myself am partial to puns, but not everyone on the board is. So, you know, take your chances there. And then presentation description. For your presentation description, we like, you know, this is not an artist statement, y'all. All right, we want to know what you're actually doing. It is really helpful for us to know, like, if you're like inspired by, you know, the effervescence of glass, and it's, I mean, glass is not, anyway, whatever. This is not an artist statement. We want to actually know what you're doing. You can put in a couple of sentences about your inspiration and motivation too. That's fine. But we want the concrete, I will be assembling a large tree. I will need access to a garage, you know, these kinds of things. We need to know what you're actually going to do, especially if it's a demonstration or a LECMO. Okay, so give us concrete details, please. It's important. That's important. Okay. Does your presentation require equipment, materials, or supplies outside of the standard usually provided? For example, I just saw someone asking about a water jet cutter. If you hadn't been smart and come to this presentation to ask that question in person, you might not know. And you would say here that you would like a water jet cutter. And then this is important as well. If, for example, Justin just said, nope, we don't have one, are you like, all right, forget it. I'm not going to try to do this presentation. I'll wait for another year. Are you going to make do without it? Or are you going to find a way to get access to a water jet cutter? That is this question right here. So this is important for us as the selection committee to know. If you need that specialized equipment, what will happen if we know that we don't have it? So should we like select you anyway, and we know that you'll figure it out, or you'll make do? Or should we say, hey, so sorry, we're not gonna have that, so try again next year, okay? So that's an important little section. And then once again, with those images, please include those context images of like what your work looks like, or what your lecture or LECMO is about, and that headshot or image of you working. And again, if it is like, for example, for Shannon's talk or panel that she was proposing, it could be images. I'm reading Shannon's emails that she's been sending me of her working in a studio with veterans with PTSD, you know, that kind of thing, like that, to again provide us context of who you are and what you do. And then we want to talk about what diversity means to GAS, because it's kind of specialized for us. We want a conference program that represents the full spectrum of the GLASS community, and is also pushing it forward. So for us, diversity means diverse methods of working with glass. People will ask like, hey, can I submit a stained glass LECMO? Yes, absolutely. Yes, we love stained glass. We love blown glass. Of course, we love blown glass, but we also love the casting and the stained glass and, you know, working with weird recycled glue things. Like, yes, we want all of the ways of working with the material. We had a beading, a glass beading LECMO in Berlin, I absolutely am so excited that we're talking more about glass beading because it's such an amazing, accessible way of working with the material. So next down the line, geographical diversity. We want people from all over the globe. So it's important for us to be able to select proposals, both that reflect the local community of the city that we are visiting that year, but also to bring people from around the world to show what's happening in other areas. Diverse ranges in career levels from emerging to established artists. And then, of course, diverse representations of race, class, sexuality, gender, and expression and ability. And then this is key, diversity of experience. We want to hear your voice shining through. Your work is your work. We don't want to see you making somebody else's work. We want to know about you and what makes you spark. And that, my friends, is our last slide. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And we have almost 15 minutes for just straight up questions. So
I was just going to add really quickly, because I know you're traveling next week, Jennifer. I put my email in the side there. If you guys have equipment questions or feasibility of an idea, like we had somebody on our last Q&A ask if we could bring an arc welder into the hot studio, into the hot shop, just shoot me an email. I'm always checking it like super constantly. So if you have questions of like, is this feasible within the facilities, or if you want to do like vitrography or like a hot pull and then go pump it with neon, just reach out and I can certainly let you know the feasibility of that within our facilities.
thank you, Justin. And then there is also I'm just going to flip over to our, thank you, Katerina. All right, so we got some emails there. I'm just going to flip over to our website really quickly. So this is if you go to, I'm going to go back to this window. So conference, Texas, BAM, glassart.org. Okay. Proposal guidelines are here. Our amazing comms team put together basically this entire presentation in a PDF, so you can always refresh your memory there. And this also is the full facilities list. So check that before you bomb Justin and Katerina's inboxes. But yes, if you have additional comments, questions, concerns, go right ahead. All right, cool. Meta.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would have a question regarding how to categorize my project. Since it's gonna, I don't know if it's a performance or maybe it applies to other. It's gonna be a participatory project, so collaborative work will be expected from public. So I'm gonna in advance prepare a lot of glass pieces, and then the idea is that the public helps to build me this installation or assembly. So because it's some kind of a participatory, I don't know, art performative project, I don't know what shall I say that it is.
Does it require a hot shop?
I'm gonna do it like prepare all of the glass pieces in advance, since I need cutter, like water jet cutter, and I'm gonna prepare it in advance, and then like just they're gonna be made, the pieces.
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if people are not working with a flame, like a torch or a hot shop, then I would say definitely you're going to go other, and then just say, that sounds kind of performance-y to me, or just workshop-y, but that's up to you. Once you're in the other territory, you can call it whatever you want. But that sounds very exciting. I love an interactive demo. Those are my favorite.
Okay, thank you. I would also have like a follow-up question about, like, I would need some kind of a space, a room. Do I need to, indicate it as a special equipment, or it's just like it makes sense that I would need it? It goes.
Yeah. I think that is really good to know. And depending on what, like the specifics of, the size and how many people, we would probably be figuring out where. So definitely give us the like what size of room you would need, and just put that information in the presentation description.
Okay, thank you. And the last question I would have, it's about I don't have a finished project. It's not realized yet. So is it okay, like a good render sketch? Does this suffice? Yeah.
Thank you so much for asking. That's such a great question. Yes, sketches are fine. If you have those 3D rendering skills, awesome, use them. So yes, that's totally fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Meta. Good to see you. All right, Shannon, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I had a similar question. I wanted to ask about like the audience participation. Would that be like labeled as a workshop or a performance?
It could be. It could
Okay.
be. Yep.
My idea was that I wanted to do like a collaborative glass art for trauma recovery demo where the audience would like contribute their thoughts and their ideas, and then we could make a collaborative piece based on the ideas of the audience.
Mm-hmm. Are
That's
we in
kind of, it's very vague, but that's basically like
That's
the,
okay.
the summary of the idea.
It sounds like we're in the hot shop for that one, yeah?
Yes.
So the thing is, the best way to make sure that you would have access to a hot shop during your program is to submit it as a hot demo, and
Okay.
then just note this would be a performance participatory in that presentation description.
Okay.
Again, because we only have so many hot shops, we have all the space in the world if people are going to be outside dancing with a torch or something. But there's only so many hot shops. Right now,
Right.
we have the UTA one, maybe what's going on with Gray Area Studios, possibly, these Interpower folks, we'll see how it comes together. But yeah, for ensuring access to Hot Glass, go ahead and submit that as a demo.
Okay. But it is like audience participation is encouraged with something like that.
You can, and also I will be in the room when we're talking about these things. So if our fellow board and selection committee have questions, now I will know, oh, this is what Shannon is actually doing. So we'll be able to do that. Great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Balaz, I hope I didn't just butcher your name.
That's fine. Thank you. I have some questions regarding the images for the application. Do they have to represent what I would like to demonstrate, or is just generally like fit my portfolio or like the kind of works I do as well? And the other question is there a way to submit videos and like links, or it's only through words and images?
We vastly prefer images. If you want to put a link, please put that in the presentation description if you have a link to a video. When we are going through and compiling your little packet of your proposal, we can't take a video with us for that. I can download a PDF with like your words and your images, but I can't download a PDF with your video on it. So definitely give us images. And then yes, if you would like a video link, just pop it in the presentation description. And then to your question regarding, does it have to be exactly what you're planning on demonstrating? No. But if you're, if somebody is like a first semester glass student telling us that they're going to do a Dante Marioni lookalike, like, can you really? Okay. Having some sort of a documentation that shows that they're going to be able to follow through on what they're proposing is helpful. Because
So kind of a bit of both, like what I'm proposing and also show my skill set through my works. Kind of. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
that's where like a sketch could come in handy. You can be like one image that shows some of your work and one image that's like a sketch of, all right, but this is gonna, take it to the next level. If you're experimenting, if you're pushing yourself in your demo, that's exciting. If you're doing something you've never done before, ooh, that's exciting. You love exciting.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. All right. Who else?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
I was just wanting to follow up. Thank you for suggesting in which various ways we can submit a proposal.
Mhm.
Is it available on short notice to have a meeting before the deadline? either with yourself, Jennifer, or Justin or Katerina?
If you'd like, we could just stay on for a few minutes after this meeting has concluded. Like I said, I am out of office starting Wednesday for a week, so I'm going to be a little hard to pin down before the rest of the deadline. But I'm certainly available to talk for a few minutes after all the questions are wrapped up. Does that work for you?
Yes, that's fine.
Great. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And let's see, I saw Georgia first. Oh, Georgia, I don't think you're muted, but I can't hear you. Sorry, Georgia, we can't hear you. Unfortunate, bad connection. Oh, and now Siri wants to get involved. Go away, Siri. Sorry about that. If you want to type your question into the chat, you are more than welcome to. Or you can also just call me. I'll put my 206-395-9011. This is my gas number. So you can also just call me on that. If anyone needs my WhatsApp number, I can also throw that into the chat later. Okay, so we're going to switch to Fabiano, and then Georgia, if your connection gets better, you're more than welcome to pop in and ask your question live. Thanks, sorry. Fabiano.
Here you go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Nice. So my idea is to bring to ship one of my chandelier in there, which is a lot of. And I was thinking, there is any financial support for the shipping?
Oh,
You don't have to answer right now. If you need more time.
Yeah, that's
And
a tricky one. That's a tricky
also,
one.
do you guys have a gallery where eventually you can keep the piece for the rest of the year? I don't know, because for me it doesn't make any sense to ship the piece and ship it back.
So in addition to our presentations, we also have our exhibition program. So that's something to think about. And so our member exhibition brings in work from around the world. I think that there are a lot of amazing galleries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Justin knows a lot more about that than I do. But I'm sure we would be very, very happy to connect you with one or more of the galleries in the area to see if it's something that they would be interested in hosting.
Great.
Cool.
So as long we will find a good spot for the piece, it will be nice.
Fabiano, why don't you shoot me an email, and certainly like if you have images and can look at ways to connect you with some of the local.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have the Dallas Art Fair, which is a huge international art venue. There's the art scene is quite phenomenal in the area with like six major museums between Dallas and Fort Worth. So we'd love to see what you're talking about, and then we can see what we can do from there for sure. Excited to see. Yeah.
I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I misremembering? Fabiana, did you come to Norfolk and do?
Yes, I was in Norfolk 2 months ago at the Chrysler, at the museum. Chrysler, 2-3 months ago. I don't remember precisely when. 3 months ago, I think I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful work. It's because I was watching Robin's stuff as he was posting away all the.
Yeah, we're planning the next collaboration together for 2025.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will keep you posted for sure.
I'm excited.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you. And I'll thanks for the WhatsApp. I'll definitely message you. All right, we have a question from reading. So I'm a caster using 3D printing and laser cutting within my process. Better focus on the casting demo. It'd be easy to move the audience between the two spaces.
So in that capacity, yeah, the LECMO sounds like it might be a really good idea because you could have your 3D print already printed and then talk about the preparation of the file and the process to take that into whatever type of mold you're doing and whether you do a burnout or whatever. So you can kind of talk through that, your practice and the ways in which you utilize those. The 3D printer and the laser cutters and the Fab Lab is a little a ways from our large casting and kiln casting facilities. They do have a small oven that they use there for fusing in the Fab Lab as well. So it might be something that could go all the way into an oven. But it sounds, I mean, these are the types of things that we're particularly interested in when we're talking about trailblazing like new traditions of what are the ways in which we can kind of merge technologies and practices, old and new, to come up with kind of new ways of working, really. So it sounds wonderful, Georgia.
Yeah. We also had somebody do a 2-part LECMO in Berlin. So it was at 2 different sessions. And so that was in order to show his mold making process and then actually do the live blowing demo. So we could do something where it would be like do the first part before lunch and then do a second session in the other space, Georgia. So there's also that capability. But if you're talking about kiln casting and not like hot casting, then definitely 100% that is a LECMO. No matter what spaces you're utilizing. Okay. Can you please tell me if I pronounce your name correctly so that I know? Balázs?
Yes, it's perfect, almost.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I had one more question about if there's an equipment I would need and you don't have it and I would source it myself or bring it from Europe. First of all, it's a self-built electric equipment, and is there any issues with that? So, like, could I use it on the campus if it's, you know, I built it?
I think I'd probably need to know a little bit more, i.e. like if you built a borosilicate furnace from scratch in your basement, that's going to be pulling a lot of power, and that is something that we would need to look at. That the university, we certainly build things from scratch in our studio, but as we start to get to higher energy consumption, higher gas consumption, that starts to get something that we'd have to look at very carefully for safety issues. However, if you build like an electric rig that infinitely, you know, blows glass bubbles, you know, as your machine, that could be something that's totally doable. So it kind of depends on what side of the spectrum you're talking about of your home built.
Yeah, it's a small. It's just like a special vitrograph, so it's like a tiny energy consumption piece. But I was wondering whether there is like legality issues that it's not certified.
If it's a, you know, a small vitrograph pot and it can run off our normal power, and I would suggest in your proposal or multiple proposals potentially to talk about that, maybe an image of it and what you're going to do with it. And I'm certainly open to it. I would have, he's not on here today, but Jeremy Skidmore is our full-time technician and does all of our safety and health, kind of oversees that whole process. So I'd certainly want him to look at it and get some details on it. So the more info you can give us on its power, how it's constructed, or how you're going to use it, I'm always interested. And I build my own equipment and machines for projects. So I think that's a very unique way to work when you make your own tools, basically. So I'm open to it, but give us as much info as you can would be helpful. And if you want to share that earlier before the proposal to see, then just shoot it in an email, and Jeremy and I can look at that.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question for that is, do you have any like frequency transformer, because it's it's built for European electricity?
We don't. Yeah, we're not really set up for European electric. So, but certainly it's possible. There's probably a way to convert it. I'm just not that great of an electrician to know that. I barely have U.S. power under my belt, let alone European power. But if you shoot us the info, we can look at it. If there's a way to convert that, or the potential, depending on what you're doing, if there's a way we can source a piece of equipment or what we have, we can adapt to what your needs are. I mean, we do have two small furnaces. They're top loading, but there's nothing to say that those, we can drill a hole in the bottom of one of them.
Awesome.
So just let us, just shoot me an email. The more info, the better, and we can try to guide you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Katerina, you had your hand up, right?
No, I would just say wanted to remind that we have a different voltage. But
Yeah.
Balash already covered that.
Yes. Although we did have somebody bring in a hot glass printer from Australia to Detroit, and that was a fun adventure for the College for Creative Studies electrician team. But they made it work, and that was a fantastic set of demos. So you never know. Okay. Well, we are at time here. Are there any more questions right now we can answer? So I'll just pop down here. Oh, Balash.
Yes. Regarding the multiple proposals, just technicality. First, I send one, and then I will have the option to do it all over again. Okay, that's it.
Yep.
Thanks. Good.
And if for some reason it's being weird, again, please, nobody wait until midnight or like 11 o'clock on the 14th. Please don't do that to me. I know somebody will. Hopefully it's none of you on this meeting. But as long as you don't wait until that very late hour, if you have any issues with Submittable, just let me know. We know that Submittable can be a pain in the butt sometimes. So don't panic. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to put these emails in the chat again down at the bottom so nobody has to search for them. And boom. So that's Justin, Katerina, and myself. Go ahead and take a moment, copy paste, and feel free to reach out with questions if no one has any bubbling to the top of their brain right now. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. I am going to go ahead and stop recording here. And